What's up? Hello, my name is Liz, and you're watching For Booking Out Loud. So, it is going to be December in a couple of days. I cannot tell you, when I looked at my calendar, how fast November just seemed to go, but at the same time, kind of slowly. I don't know what happened to this year, honestly. It's been insane. But in the joy of December coming up, I am wearing my llama ugly sweater. Usually I only wear it once a year, so you're welcome. It's my favorite Christmas sweater, so it might be showing up in a couple of videos to give me an excuse to wear it more than once this year. Holiday joy, am I right? But today I wanted to go over my December TBR, and it is the last TBR of the season. The year. And I have some incredible picks that I'm really excited to share with you. And just end the year off on a very strong note, I hope. I hit 200 books in November, and I didn't even think I'd make it that far this year, so anything I read in December is just going to be the cherry on top this year. So let's just get into it. Let's start with my Stephen King plans. I've been trying to get to this book for forever, and I promise, I am going to read Thinner this month. It's a short book, it shouldn't take me that long, and with this I will finish the Richard Bachman books. I'm excited. Guy runs over a woman who curses him, and what could go better, right? So another Stephen King book I've been trying to complete for quite a while is Dr. Sleep. It's the sequel to The Shining, and it's about Jake as an adult. That's all I really know about it, and I refuse to watch the movie until I've read this book. I can't say much about it. Again, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten to it yet. It will happen. It will happen in December. It is a thicker book, but I'm determined. I'm determined to finish this before 2021 comes around. I have 2 more Stephen King books I want to get to before this year ends. The first one being The Dead Zone, which I honestly don't know too much about. Reading the summary, it sounds like it's about a guy that gets into an accident at a carnival, and he ends up in a coma for over 4 years, and when he wakes up, he has clairvoyant abilities when he touches other people. And this gets him into some hot water when he touches a politician and sees some very disturbing things. That's all I know about it. It's Stephen King, so I'm anticipating some very in-depth characterization, of course, and some pretty disturbing scenes, I hope. A great mystery, I hope. And also, again, while I was looking at it, look at that great picture. I love these old books for these great pictures. Wanted to share that with you. And the 4th book I want to get to this month, Christine by Stephen King. Christine is one of his more famous books, I believe, and it is about a murderous car. Again, that's pretty much all I know about this book. This guy is supposed to be fixing an old, I think it's an old Cadillac. Not too sure on the details, but he's supposed to be fixing this old car, and it starts coming to life on him. It soon becomes alive, murderous, haunts him. All good things, you know? Why not? And it doesn't sound like it's supposed to be that horrific, but again, great reviews. Haven't seen the movie, and I'm okay with that because I don't know if it's a good movie or not. Many Stephen King movies are not. And I'll get back to you on if the book is amazing or not as well. And once again, looking at this beautiful book, if you turn it around, look at that. One of his better pictures, in my opinion. Plus, he is on the top of a car. Great picture for this type of book. Just saying. That is it for my Stephen King books that I'm anticipating for next month. And I have 2 Junji Ito books I want to get to. I was not able to get to No Longer Human in October or last month, so I really want to finish that one before the year is up. It is a horror manga about a guy who's really disassociated from other humans, and he, I assume, spirals into madness. I'm excited, personally. And Junji Ito's artwork is phenomenal. I mean, just look at this one in front, right? So that's number 1. Number 2, I didn't get to Smashed in October either. It's a short story collection by Junji Ito. This short story collection has 13 of Junji Ito's short stories, and considering the size of this book, I assume they'll go really, really fast. I was really impressed by his other collection, which is Shiver. So I'm equally excited to finish Smashed. And then, of course, in December, I want to finally finish the Witcher series with a Season of Storms. I have been working through this whole series since August, I believe. It's the 8th book in the series, which is the final book. And reading the summary again, the series truly ended in the 7th book, which makes a lot more sense to me now. And this is like a prequel almost, where it looks at The Witcher when he was just starting out. And it's not a short story collection like the first 2. It's just what happened to him before he met Ciri, I think. So I'll see, and I'll get back to you on that one. Excited to finish the series though, and to see if I truly liked it or not. Now, to get into the novels I want to finish. The very first one I'm looking into is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This story has been blowing up BookTube, and I actually got it, I think it was in October, and I just haven't had the time to pick it up yet. The synopsis sounds phenomenal and something that I'd be really into. It has a little bit of romance, it sounds like. It has a little bit of historical fiction, a little bit of contemporary fiction where she goes back and forth from her old life to her more recent life. And I've heard great things about it. I've also heard some constructive criticism about the book, and I'm just really excited to see what I personally think about it. I've been really trying to not look at spoilers, honestly. So hopefully by the end of December, I'll be able to talk about it with others who have read it and just enjoy the book like others have been able to. I think my neighbors are doing leaves, so I apologize for that. And then the next book I want to pick up in December is Leave the World Behind. This is another one that I got in October, so it's been a while, but it sounds like a really good thriller where 2 families are stuck in New York, and just really psychological thriller because they're really kind of against each other. It's a short one, and apparently it's supposed to pack a punch in the limited amount of pages it holds. So I'm very excited to find out if I do enjoy it or not. I've heard good things on BookTube, and again, some constructive criticism. So I just want to check it out for myself. And then the last book of the month I really need to pick up is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. And it's a YA romance, retelling about Romeo and Juliet, set in Shanghai. And honestly, that kind of sold me. It's about two gangs. I couldn't really tell you what they're called, but the female lead sounds like a badass in this one, and so does the male lead. And it's about former lovers that need to work together even though they hate each other to try to help out their families. So, yes, I'm really hopeful that I'll like this one, and the concept just seems really fun to me. So I picked it up. Why not? So I know this month is full of a lot of mysteries and thrillers, and that's just a genre that I've been really craving, so I'm just gonna continue that. I really enjoyed Lock Every Door. Bad. Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware earlier, a couple months ago. And so I decided to check out Ruth Ware's other work, and I picked up The Woman in Cabin 10, which sounds incredible. It's about a woman who gets to be on a luxury cruise boat, and everything goes swimmingly. And then all of a sudden one night she sees another woman get thrown overboard, and then things turn dark. And she's trying to figure out who's the murderer before things turn even darker. So why not? And I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy it. Another Ruth Ware book that I should be getting soon for my library is One by One, which is her most recent release. I've heard people either love it or hate it, and I'm hoping I'm gonna be the one in the love category, crossing my fingers. But it's about a group of tech developers who just released a very successful social media app, I believe. They get caught at a ski resort because of a snow avalanche, and then people start dying. So they have to figure out who's the killer before it's too late and everyone's dead. So again, I'm hoping I'm gonna love it. It sounds very fascinating, and I'm crossing my fingers. Now, a sci-fi book that I'm really hoping that I'll enjoy and I'm picking up this month is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Now, I loved his Inheritance trilogy books behind me when I was growing up, and this is his first release after that. It's an adult sci-fi book, and it is about a young woman who discovers aliens, and I believe it's a parasitic alien who takes over her body, and it's about her travels through that experience. It sounds utterly fascinating to me. It is a chunky read, but I've heard wonderful things about it, and it's honestly been sitting on my floor mocking me since September when it was released, and I just want to read it before the year's out so I can fully appreciate all of Paolini's work. So yes, I'm going to get through this in December, and I'll let you know how I like it. And then I have 3 more books I'm expecting to get from my local library before the end of the year. The first one is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I believe is about a woman who's reaching the end of her years, and she invites another woman to come in and interview her through her journey of 7 husbands. I don't know too much about it. It sounds interesting, and it's the kind of book that I don't usually pick up, but that's fine because, again, I've heard good things about it, and if I enjoy it, I might look into picking up more books like that. I believe it's like a mix of historical fiction and contemporary fiction, but I'm not sure. someone correct me down in the comments. And then another book that I really am hoping will come to me next month is called The Loop by Jeremy Robert Johnson. And one reason I'm really looking forward to it is that it's set in Oregon, where I live, so I'm always excited about those books. And it's also a slasher horror book. And I think there's a side of like zombie-esque illnesses going around. From what I've read, it's a book about a biotech firm that accidentally releases an illness in this really small Western Oregon town. And all of a sudden people start getting sick and then they get violent. And these young kids in particular have to survive it. So I'm not sure how that's gonna go with what's going on in the world right now. Maybe it's timely, maybe it'll be too horrific. We will see. And then finally, the last book I really want to get to this month is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. I've been really trying to not read too much about it or watch too much booktube about it, because I know it went around booktube a lot in the summer, and that's when I actually requested it from my library. It sounds like a romantic racial gentrification thriller, and it's been getting a lot of good reviews, but again, that's all I know about it, and I'm really trying to stay away from spoilers or too much of a summary, because I want to go into that book blind and get really sidestepped from it, I'm hoping. But that is my last TBR, hopefully, for the year. I'm not doing any readathons because I'm kind of readathoned out, and I'm just really excited. I'm hopeful all of these books will be completely wonderful. And I mean, I'm wearing my llama ugly sweater. That's got to be a good sign, right? But I hope you all have a wonderful reading month too, and all your books are the highest rated of the year. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. By Christopher Paolini. Sorry, I just got a notification about cases in Oregon. But before the year ends.